This build has become a nuisance here recently in the DZ. So let's see if we could try to put a stop to it. Let's try the Equalizer, a new build I've been working on. And after this video, we'll get into the build. So enjoy the clips. Let me start off by saying thanks to the crybabies out there for giving me this idea. One in particular, Mark of Tears. Just want to thank you, give you a shout out, because if it wasn't for your complaining and whining, I probably would have never built this. But yeah, just want to say thanks to the crybabies out there. And let's get into the build. Alright, there's quite a few different ways to build this. I built 3 different versions of it. I call it the Equalizer because right now in the DZ you have 3-piece negotiator's dilemma. People are just putting it on without any basically you don't need to have any knowledge of PvP. You just put it on and it can save your life. But yeah, so I decided to come up with this. This is my PvE version. So you can actually go out, and farm with this build. As you can see, it's hitting for my P416, which is the military, is hitting for 23k. And I do have the Nemesis on. You don't necessarily need to use it. You can run whatever you want to run. I use it just to get a little sniping in, different things. The weapons really doesn't matter. The Demolitionist works well in PvE because that first initial explosion, it does work. PvP, it does not in normalized. So unless you go into ODZ, it's best just to run different specialization. But if you want to run it, you can, because I mean, hey, the grenade launcher is fun. But yeah, getting into the build, I have the Hollow Man, which is a key component, but there's other ways to build. This one here, I have 2 different masks. This one is the one with, I wrote damage to elites, and I do have 19% hazard protection on it. So yeah, and it, it's a mask that you can get in the DZ, so you just have to farm. I have another version. This one here actually gives me more hazard protection and health. That's on a separate build. But yeah, this one here I put on so I could get damage to elites. And not everybody has that mask, but this is the way I chose to run it. There's, like I said, there's other ways to do it. But yeah, the chest piece is a Healer Guard, which gives me 5% total armor and 20% hazard protection. So that's where my other hazard protection is coming from, these 2 pieces. So, and it has Bloodsucker, which works well. As everyone probably knows or should know, depleting an enemy's armor adds stack of 25% armor for 10 seconds. Max stack is 6 seconds. And I do have a 12% explosive resistance mod, and of course an AR and a 9% explosive resistance mod. So yeah, there are mods out there. One of the Thief Den vendor had a 10%. So I wound up with two of those. That's all I could afford at the time. But yeah, my holster is a negotiator's dilemma. Two pieces gives you 30% explosive resistance, so that works well. And I do have 42,000 health on it and skill power. Uh, if I had to change, I would take the skill power off because this is not a skill build. I would probably go with a different holster. Well, I mean, still with the negotiator's dilemma, but I would most likely roll, a health percentage on it to get my health up. And the backpack, which I use this a lot because, I do have 10.5% weapon damage on it. My chest piece has 13%. There's more weapon damage out there. That's just what I'm stuck with. And of course, the utility mod, I do not really care, but I do have 2.5% reload speed. And I got a 8% explosive resistance on it. And let's see, Fenris glove, which 12% assault rifle damage, 4,000 health, devastating, which gives me another 5% weapon damage. And of course, no mod slot, but getting that AR damage is key. And the last piece of Negotiator's Dilemma, the knee pads, which gives me 21,000 health. Trying to keep that health up. Then I have a 10% explosive resistance mod and another utility. And like I said, you can actually run whatever you want there. Pretty quick build video. I'm going to try to go through another part of it. But yeah, so my weapon damage, as you can see, I got all weapon damage just up there pretty high. 65% damage to elites, which is good for all the missions. Then we want to go down to the key to this build. So I have 80% explosive resistance, which works well, and 99% hazard protection. 1% off of having 100, which 99%. As you can see, I'm standing in fire right now. I'm immune. So yeah, I do have 100% burn resistance. So yeah, this will work well. 99% is plenty. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I call it the Equalizer build just because you can equalize a lot of different things. I do have a couple different versions. This is the one I was using in PvP. Then I have this one too. This one here is a little different. So it gives me more, and I'm actually using a different weapon with it. But it's basically the same thing. I just put Hilligard here to get patience and, more weapon damage mods. It's got this in here has less explosive damage. Resistance, excuse me. 50%, which is still good. You're running gun. But I do have 130% hazard protection because of this mask. So there's different ways I can fix it up. This one here is also with the mask with the 50%. That gives me all total 100%. And yeah, this is another one you can run in the missions and different things. So yeah, there's different versions of it. So you don't necessarily have to nerf a build. You can actually fight that build. And I believe this build here works well. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Supplies detected.
We do have a lot of people running that build, and it just gets irritating to know that you lost a fight because someone else has a little advantage. There's other ways of fighting that build. You know, if you snipe from a distance, that will help. But yep, that's my build video, and I hope you enjoyed. Uh, just, you know, see ya in the next video. Hope you have a great day.